when a narcissistic mother's beauty fades, the switch up. Now, those of us who had narcissistic mothers who are thought to be attractive or who led with their looks, um, a lot of us have experienced a really jarring change in their abuse tactics toward us, the scapegoats, um, as they age. And what I attribute to that change is their beauty, or their slow and steady loss of beauty in the eyes of society, right? So for a lot of us, you have a beautiful mom, or in mom, egg donor, however you refer to these people, and their abuse is rather overt, unapologetic. There's a lot of laughter while they do it. I remember with my mother, the big thing was to talk on the phone in front of me about the issue we were having, and to kind of just laugh and look at me as I'm, experiencing, like, anger or embarrassment or whatever, and just soaking in the negative emotion. The abuse was very, very overt. And I can attribute that to probably, this is what my mind imagines, her having a life, an entire life before my birth, even, where she was given the golden keys to many things and many places, simply because of the way she looked, and a lot of latitude and forgiveness is given to people, what be they men or women. If you look good, it's kind of a get out of jail free card, right? So I noticed that as my mother became older and started to lose her figure and all this, the abuse went from this very overt thing, like, I'm in your face doing this to you, I'm telling you this to your face directly, you know, because I can always go out and get more resources. So even if you're mad at me, I don't have to look at myself. I can always busy myself with men and bullshit and shopping and my makeup and all that bullshit, right? But as you get older, okay, and Father Time starts kicking your ass, and the pounds start, accumulating, and you're not the belle of the ball anymore, right? You can't really play that game anymore. And I'm making this video for one reason, just to make you understand. If your parent, if your mother is in a place where she's kind of sliding down that attractiveness scale, and you're noticing a difference in her treatment to you, it goes from being overt abuse to slightly covert. Please understand those two factors are intertwined. She is not becoming better. She is not becoming nicer. She just can't play the same game anymore. Okay? Now, if you think about it, and not all pretty women are snooty. There's a lot of lovely, wonderful, beautiful women, and thank God for them, right? Because they're a godsend. You look good and you're good on the inside. That's a beautiful thing to see, to experience, and to behold, right? But for those of us who have also run into the other types of attractive women, you'll see how easy it is for them to be dismissive or rude, even if you're not trying to come at them in a romantic way, or just saying hello. The absolute arrogance, the aggression, the feeling of how dare you even speak to me, blah 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 blah. Okay, and I'm not some incel. Again, I've met all kinds of great people, all kinds of great men, great women, whatever. Okay, but you'll notice they do that, and they do that without any hesitation or regret, and they do that because of one reason: they can always get more. I don't need you. I have a whole sea of people who want to deal with me because I have all the right genetic makeup, and my eyebrows are a certain height and everything is going, according to plan in terms of our standard of beauty here. So why the hell do I need you? I could be flippant, tell you to fuck off. Okay? I could be mean to other women. I could do whatever I want to do, because there's always going to be another train to coming. And guess what? They're going to put me in the celebrity car. So it really doesn't matter how I treat you. I have infinite resources. You never know who people are until you give them wealth or power. Okay? Or endless adulation from people. Okay, that lets you know how people are when they carry themselves, when they have a little bit of power, how they carry themselves, I should say. So that's their power, the beauty, the looks, this and that, and basically, what is it, leveraging people's desire for them, and desire to be close to them, right? So when they lose that, first of all, it's a shock. It's a real shock. It's like, holy shit, I'm invisible now. Holy shit, I can't wield this sword the way I once could. My sword is dull now. I used to be an assassin on sight. I can't do that now. So what do they have to do? They have to either, well, they do a couple things. They writhe in bitterness. They deny that they're losing the attractiveness, okay? Or they go ahead and call the whole world shallow, and that's when the victim arc happens. Generally, with a narcissistic mother who's losing her power in terms of her beauty, she's gonna take the victim role. Okay, so my mom went from laughing and joking on the phone and teeing and looking at me as I was in pain to, I don't feel good. I just wish someone would help me. I don't have any money. Bullshit like that, right? And I'm looking at this lady and I'm like, this is new. And for a minute, I got deluded into the idea that this is a person learning that they were mean and that they were, um, cruel to their own child, and they're maybe changing. I took it as a change, just because I hadn't studied narcissism and I hadn't really taken a hard and honest look at my time with my mother, and all the indications that things were deliberate, and all the indications that that these negative feelings I experienced as a result of these deliberate actions were fuel and supply for her, right? So I didn't really know a lot. I just was in a place of survival. And but I started watching more. And I started to see the old evil rear its head, like um the fight was no longer, I'm going to point my finger at you and talk shit. The fight began, I'm going to pick a fight by saying something absolutely ridiculous in the sweetest way. And then you're going to yell at me. And then I'm going to be sad and scared. And because I've triangulated everyone against you, particularly your brother, the rest of the extended family, everybody's going to run to my rescue and help me. And I'll be the center of attention, and I'll be the pretty girl again. I can't do that with the way my waist, to hip ratio looks anymore. And I can't do that with my makeup and my hair anymore. But what I can do is get that sympathy attention, which will in some way get close to the pretty girl vibes I used to have. Don't fall for it and think that these people have gotten better. In fact, they have gotten worse. Because at least with the pretty girl offensive, um, they got to blow off some steam and feel some sort of, it's illegitimate, but and it's fleeting, but some semblance of legitimate power. But imagine if your whole power was like, well, I can't move my arm. You may get what you want out of that, but you got to go around the back way. And that's no offense to anyone who might be, experiencing mobility issues. I'm just trying to make a point. Okay? They are the same people. It just everything is inverted. They're going to go from a covert narcissist, or excuse me, an overt narcissist to a covert narcissist because they can't move the same way. It's the same thing as if let's say you had a dad who was very, overbearing, very physically powerful, and wielded that, right? Used that to rule over the family with an iron fist, the constant threat of violence, the constant threat of physical retribution, okay? Use that. Terrified you. You're just a little kid. He's this big fucking man, okay? Must have looked like Thanos to you, right? Let him get old and sick and lose all that muscle mass and all that testosterone and all that bravado. He's gonna go from Jake LaMotta, okay, to a little puppy because he knows he can't wield the same power. He can't lead with his fists anymore. Quite literally cannot lead with his fists anymore. He has to now retire into being the sweet old man, right? But you will still see hints of that killer in him. You will still see hints of it. You're just gonna see it in a more methodical way. Long story short, when the narcissist begins to lose power, they have to switch up their tactics. And initially, the switch up might look like they're becoming better, becoming nicer. They are not. They are out of options. This is all they can do now. Never forget